So we're not the only ones talking about the impact of Trump's legal woes on the upcoming election, as Republican presidential candidate Florida Governor Ron DeSantis spoke about the impact that Trump's numerous indictments have had on the GOP primary race. Here's what DeSantis said in a recent interview with the Christian Broadcasting Network.
Is there anything you, if not regret, you look at this campaign and go, I wish I would have done that? How do you feel about that?
Well, there's always different things that happen. I mean, I would say if I could have one thing change, I wish Trump hadn't been indicted on any of this stuff. I mean, honestly, I think that, from Alvin Bragg on, I've criticized the cases. I think, someone like a Bragg would not have brought that case if it was anyone other than Donald Trump. And so, someone like that's distorting justice, which is bad. But I also think it distorted the primary. And I think it's been that those have kind of been the main issues that have happened.
Because it's helped him, is that what you're saying? And so therefore
it's both that, but then it also has just crowded out, I think, so much other stuff, and it's sucked out a lot of oxygen.
But that's interesting. You're saying it made him stronger in a way, and it made it tougher for you and others.
I think for the primary, it distorted. Yeah, I think it distorted. In a general election, I think the Democrats have a plan on this. I think the media has a plan on this. And I think if it gets to the point where 6 months from now, Trump's the presumptive nominee and he's having to go through all this, they have a plan for how they're going to ride this out.
So, Jen, he's probably not wrong. It's clear that Trump, polls show it, got a boost from these indictments. But what he didn't talk about, what might have been different, had any of those Republicans competing with Trump, himself included, had taken those indictments and instead of decrying them as deep state witch hunts, actually said, you know what, this is serious. Donald Trump shouldn't be running again.
If only it was in his power to put the indictments in the proper context to convince Republican primary voters that he was a bad choice to be president. If only he had the power to do that. But thinking about that and the piece prior and the Detroit News piece and looking ahead to the trial that may start in March. The Jack Smith trial may start in March, may not. I mean, just imagine everything else we're going to learn, other recordings. We know about Georgia recordings. We know about Arizona recordings. Now there's a Michigan recording. What else are we going to learn in that trial? And we're talking about how we become desensitized and sort of inured to bad behavior or the wash of legal news. But I'm thinking, remember the Jan 6 committee hearings in the summer of 22, I guess, right? Yeah, summer of 22. And how when a body was able to tell a compelling story day by day, lay out all the facts, it really did have an impact on the American public. And, it's Jack Smith's presentation we saw in his indictments, very compelling presentations. When that trial plays out and day to day, we're getting the news of what has happened put into constitutional context, right? Because that's what's under threat is the Constitution and him not abiding by it. I think that could have a bigger impact. And then you think, okay, and then the Biden campaign is, then in the last 6 months of the campaign, the Biden campaign is able to put all of this into context. That's sort of what's been missing, I think, because from the day-to-day coverage is the broader implication of what that means. And, that's what a big piece of what the presidential campaign will have to be about.
Yeah, we should note, of course, that Chris Christie did offer criticisms of Trump and his legal problems, but they would have potentially hit differently, Donnie, had they come from someone like DeSantis, who had such a groundswell of support, at least in the early days of the campaign.